Jonah Platt, whose father helped produce the latest Snow White film, had very harsh words for star Rachel Zegler.
For context, Variety wrote a report retitled Inside Disney Snow White Fiasco, Death Threats, Beefed Up Security, and a Social Media Guru for Rachel Zegler. EV Magazine wrote on, when you compare how Zegler spoke about Snow White to how other actresses played live-action Disney princesses spoke about their character, really underlines just how poorly she carried herself.
Rachel Zegler just keeps making things worse with the Walt Disney Company. The more that she tries to defend this movie, the more that she tries to spew her agenda onto the general public. It's only making matters worse, not just for Bob Iger, but for whatever is left of the image of Disney as a whole.
Several internal sources claim that the actress and Walt Disney's company are at odds, and that the situation has gotten so bad that the actress was called in immediately for potential contract violations, reputational harm, and the threat of a lawsuit.
I am in the thick of rehearsal for Romeo plus Juliet, so I'm gonna get out of here. Bye for now. The Variety story notes how a couple of minutes after posting this, she replied to her own tweet and wrote, "And always remember, free Palestine."
Free Palestine to another to ask her to stop her foolishness, but she refused to stop. Since every action has a reaction, we were forced to wait through negative social media reactions, which naturally caused division among the fans. However, behind all of Snow White's development, all of the issues started to surface, including months-long disputes behind the scenes. The principal actress's perverted behavior and the performer's personal issues have caused Rachel Zegler to have personal issues with the Mouse House. Even though the cast, studio officials, and even fans were unhappy about all that was going on, the truth about this movie was gradually made public by the media. Pay attention. Yes, and you just heard it from a US media source yourself. Rachel Zegler produced a lot of controversy, which naturally led to a lot of issues with the film's creation and release. This begs the question, how can a promising project deteriorate until it becomes absolute shit? Stay tuned to watch this video since it contains a lot of hot information and highlights crucial topics that the interested parties can relate to in terms of internal concerns. Public participation. This clearly demonstrates the brittleness of brand devotion and the star's strength in the face of rigorous public scrutiny rife with hardcore narcissism.
Variety breaks down how after this tweet went viral, the studio was shocked she would mix a promo tweet with a political statement. As a result, Mark Platt flew to New York to speak with her in person.
Although this may not come as a surprise to you, it was shocking at the time because it completely changed the plot. According to reports, Disney was closely analyzing the situation and weighing its options in order to recoup the losses incurred from the movie's low box office receipts and damaged reputation as a result of an actress who was unable to control her speech. Naturally, this was the beginning of the end for a story that Disney produced, suggesting that the lead actors, Rachel Zegler and her co-star Gal Gadot, may have neglected their promotional responsibilities or undervalued the 1937 original classic. Not to mention the $270 million that were spent to make the movie, which has made $43 million domestically.
Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. Zegler isn't the only one who has made political statements, though. Her co-star Gadot, who plays the evil queen, expressed her staunch support for Israel.
Indeed, Disney has lost millions of dollars globally. Nevertheless, recent declarations from the Richard Zegler Group, they asserted that there is inside sabotage and that business politics may have contributed more to the project's demise than Rachel Zegler's public remarks. The actress's abrupt and in-person meeting with the Disney legal team indicates that emotions have escalated, which may have encouraged the studio to take a more assertive legal stance in the event that the negotiations don't work out. This is obviously a huge misunderstanding, since some people blame Zegler while others claim that Disney is solely to blame.
Snow White's budget was around $270 million. It has made $43 million domestically so far and around $84 million globally for Box Office Pro.
While many believe that Disney made a huge mistake in hiring this actress and a monumental strategic calculation error that led to a collapse in public relations, the truth is that Zegler was responsible for completely ruining not only the company's image, but also its own image by dragging their own acting colleagues with her when they had a chance to shine. This has not only affected the actress's image, but also the image of the same company that produced the film. Despite the fact that many people point out that the actress's immaturity and awkwardness are the reason behind her behavior, it's crucial to keep in mind.
The film received backlash for various reasons in the lead up to its release. Zegler had called the original Snow White movie dated and weird and said Prince Charming was a stalker. Evie magazine wrote on X, when you compare how Rachel Zegler spoke about Snow White to how other actors who played live-action Disney princesses spoke about their character, really underlines just how poorly she carried herself.
I'll quickly mention this. The son of Snow White producer Mark Platt, Jonah Platt, his son's name, he is speaking out publicly against Rachel Zegler, blaming her for the film's catastrophic failure at the box office. I mean, he's totally right. Now, of course, as we covered, the movie is terrible anyway in its own right. It was probably going to underperform regardless. People are tired of the soulless cash grab remake thing. The movie has all kinds of problems that could be pinned partly on the producer. Like, the producer did not do a good job. Nobody who produced the movie did a good job. Apart from all of the political controversy started by the actress. So the movie had all kinds of problems creatively and conceptually.
She is about 23 years old, no longer a girl, and she thinks and reasons very well. The issue is that she has unluckily allowed progressive ideology and extreme feminism to wash over her brain, which is why she has this attitude that many find repugnant and toxic at the same time.
There's no doubt that she drove the final nail into this movie's coffin. She probably drove the final 2 or 3 nails into the coffin. And a lot of what you see in Zegler is really just this pretty common Gen Z mentality and approach to work. She believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else.
In addition, she stated clearly in an interview that she is a narcissistic woman, which she obviously is, given that it appears that she has been smoking since Disney hired her for this movie. Rachel Zegler appears to be having a lot of issues right now with the Mouse House, and if the sources are reliable, perhaps not just.
In reality, you have a job. You're being paid to do this job. You signed on the dotted line. You took on the role. You took the job. And that job comes with some basic responsibilities. And one of the most basic is the responsibility to control yourself and court yourself a certain way publicly so that you don't harm the project and thereby harm all the other people who are working on it. Because she's not, well, she might be stupid, but she's not so dumb she didn't realize that by, for example, coming out and saying that all Trump supporters deserve to suffer.
From screaming.
Wow.
And it's bothered nobody in there. Nobody
can you go to yeah, that's it. So this is Bob Iger.
Not only would he lose his job, but he will also have to pay a hefty price for breaking a commitment that could have ruined his entire life.
Disney's Bob Iger says their mission is to entertain, not send messages as Snow White sales compete for worst performing live action Disney adaptation ever. Infusing messaging is not what we're up to, Iger said. We need to be entertaining.
That's about it, folks. What do you think? That's essentially the information. Do you genuinely believe Rachel Zegler is to blame for the Disney film's total failure? Since your opinion means to me, I would really appreciate hearing your own thoughts on this subject in the comment section. As for me, I say goodbye. My name is Carlos. This was The Immortal. I'll see you in the next movie.